All right, welcome to another video from Lux Trades. Today's video is going to be about long-term mentality when trading. So to begin this video, I have to explain why the mentality matters. I feel like it's the most important part because it's kind of what guides you through your whole learning experience until you become profitable. So, most new traders fail, and it's not because they don't have strategy or mindset. They fail because they're not prepared for what the market brings to you. You feel me? So like day trading, a lot of people think, you're going to start trading, you're going to start getting money like that. And you can, but the issue is a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. And you have to know how to manage that. And one of the main things that people fail with is their emotional control. See, when people start trading, they start seeing money. But if you're in a trade and you start seeing money, and this still happens to me. I mean, you guys could ask, the people that I trade with. This still happens to me. I'll start seeing some money that I haven't even cashed out yet, and I'm expecting more, and then I'll end up cashing out less because I got too greedy or because, I think I got it like that, and then boom, you know what I'm saying? You gotta know how to control your emotions. And first of all, not get too greedy. Second of all, not get scared, because one thing the market is gonna do is try to scare you. But I'm gonna move to the next slide, and it's about thinking long term and acting short term. So one main thing about trading is that although, it is quick money that you can make, if you want to maintain yourself and continue making money and actually make big money, you have to start small and you have to build it up. Because one thing is that, you can go on like a spree for like a week and like get 5K. And another thing is to go on a long term, but small and slow growth spurt that can get you up to like 40K a day by the end of 6 months or 7 months, and there's a big difference, because somebody who goes on a spree and just, gets as much money as they can in 1 week might not do that the next week. Why? Because first of all, they're not having that emotional control that we talked about in the previous slide. And second of all, they're not really building anything. They're not building that discipline or that emotional control to be able to handle all that. And another thing is focusing on building skills, because like I said, anybody can get lucky and make a whole bunch of money quick, but you can't maintain it if you don't have the skills or the emotional control and discipline to actually grow that money into more money. All right, so detaching from the outcome. I picked this picture of, the root of all suffering is attachment by Buddha, because, if you really think about it, the more you care about something, the more it can hurt you or make you happy, whatever. I like to think about it, and this is me personally. Some people don't take me seriously. Women, if you're extremely attached to a woman, she's gonna go away from you because she's like, oh, this guy is weird. I'm all he cares about. He has nothing going for him. Same thing comes when it comes to the market. If all you care about is just the money and grabbing that fast, and and then one day you win and you're super happy, the next day you lose and you're depressed. It's not going to last. It's not going to last. You're going to crash out. You're going to lose your money. You're going to want to give up. You have to detach from the outcome. I watched this video a long time ago that taught me a lot, and I still think about it every day. This guy said, when you're trading, look at the market like if you're a monkey. All you're looking at is just colors going up and down on a chart. There's no money involved. There's no nothing. It's just colors. And you're just sitting there on the screen fucking pressing a button with your fucking fingers. That's all trading is. So detaching from the outcome and being able to remove your emotions from the money is one of the best things you could do when you want to start learning how to trade. It's not going to happen fast and it's not going to happen right away, but it's something that I feel like everybody should be aware of, because the sooner that you're able to manage that and control that, the better it's going to be for you in the long term. All right, so embracing the learning curve. This has to do with the previous few slides that I just talked about. Trading is not going to be a linear experience. When I started learning, I had days where I was doing really good, and then boom, I'd do really bad, and then I'd do good for 1 or 2 days, and then I'd do bad for 2 or 3 weeks. It's going to happen, and it's going to look somewhat like what this chart looks like. You're having fun. Oh, man, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, now I'm starting to understand it. Oh, looks like I didn't understand shit. That's what trading is going to feel like. Why? One, the market is constantly changing and it's never the same. You can't go back in history and look at a chart and relate it to today's chart. By the way, like fun fact, the chart is never ever the same. You might have similar patterns, but it's never ever going to move the same. And two, it takes time to learn how to trade. On average, from the internet, it says 1 to 2 years. But realistically, most people, it takes 3, 4, even 5 years to learn how to trade and become profitable. And that's not necessarily because, they're not smart or whatever. It's because a lot of people just aren't aware that you really need to dedicate time and like take it all in when you're trading. Like you need to understand that you're going to lose, you're going to have good times, and you're going to have bad times. And the best thing you could do is track and review your mistakes. When you trade and you learn from what you did wrong and you're able to like process it, and the best thing that I suggest is writing it down. That's when you start seeing real growth, because that's when you start training your mind that this is a progress and that you're growing towards something that you're not necessarily the best at. We all think that we're going to be the best at something right away, and it's just not like that. You know what I'm saying? So tracking it down, reviewing yourself, taking the time to like learn and think and like process what you're doing is going to be the best thing you could do. That's going to be the best thing you could do to learn quicker, because a lot of times people will trade for like up to 3 years. They won't write shit down. They just have it all in their head, and then boom, like they end up not really learning much. So it takes them longer to like really get anywhere with that. Give me 1 second. All right, next slide. Control the risk and stay in the game. One of my favorite quotes to say in Lux is make sure you can live to fight another day. You never want to blow your account completely. And you might think, I'm not going to blow my account. I'm not that stupid. Trust me, you're going to blow your account. Even if you watch this video 3,000 times, you're going to blow your account. Not once, not twice. I say a minimum of 3 times. Why? Because it happens. But the best thing you can do is learn how to prevent that. How do you prevent that? 1, not over leveraging. 2, not trying to just blow up instantly and using your whole account full porting and thinking that the more money you're going to put in, the more you're going to get out. And every time you do that, it's going to, nah. Managing your risk, controlling how much money you put in to a point where you know that even if you do lose that money, you still have this amount of money to play with. Even if you do lose, X amount of money, the next day you'll have X amount of money to keep going. You know what I'm saying? You never want to have less money. You never want to have money. Not enough money to keep going. That's my point. That's what I'm trying to get across. Always make sure that you can live to fight another day. Capital preservation is longevity. That's another thing. That's like the same thing that I was saying about people who like blow up quick and then they collapse the next week, because you got to learn how to get the money that you did win on a lucky streak, or, let's say you just did really good, a good streak. You got like 4K out of that in 3 days. Oh, you're feeling like the man. You want to buy the PS5 and you want to buy all sorts of games. You want to take your girl out to eat. No. You don't want to do that. I suggest, you set aside a little part. Take 30% of that. Put it in your pocket. And then make sure the rest of it goes back into your investing, because you're going to end up losing money. But remember, the more money you have, the more money you can play with. So you want to make sure you're preserving your money, making sure you're able to make it last and stick with it. You know what I'm saying? Don't full port and then you're losing a trade, and then you think that even though you're at, $20 left on your $3,000 account, that it might come back. No, you already fucked up and you're gone. You know what I'm saying? It's wraps. Don't do that. Make sure you can have enough money to last another day. Main thing. Another thing, you always hear this on TikTok or on other YouTube videos or from other traders, is focus on one setup first. Focus on one tactic, one strategy, one way to go. You know what I'm saying? Something that works with you, something that that with time you can get better, something that you believe in. That's what you want to do. You want to focus on that. You want to grind it out. You want to take the losses, take the dubs, round it all together, learn from it, and make it as best as you can. 1, because it's going to make you just better at it. 2, it makes you more confident. One thing about trading is you got to be confident in your trade. You got to know. You got to step into a trade knowing you're going to say, yeah, this is my trade. I'm going to make money off of this. You want to make sure that when you hop in this trade, you're not 50-50 and you're not confused and you're not a little bit scared that you might. No. You want to know that when you hop into a trade, you know what you're doing, you know what to expect, so you know when to get out, and you know when to get out if you're losing. You know what I'm saying? You want to know what you're doing. And last but not least, consistency comes with repetition. The more you do something, the better it gets. And on a spiritual level, I know a lot of people don't talk about this on a spiritual level. But on a spiritual level, even if like it could be anything. It could be trading, it could be a sport, it could be a job, it could be gambling. The more you do something, yes, gambling. I said gambling. The more you do something, the better you're gonna get at it. And you might call it luck, but it's genuinely just consistency and repetition. It makes you better at things just naturally. Your brain starts to create more neural pathways, which I don't know if you guys believe in this, but that's connected to the overall energy around you and your life and what you're projecting at all times. It's gonna make you better. Consistency and repetition. All right, next slide. Developing a routine. Developing a routine as a day trader isn't even that hard. So I don't really want to hear any excuses to this because it should, if you have a job, that's already part of a routine. That's great. That's perfect. That's beautiful. If you go to the gym, boom, that's even better. Trading doesn't necessarily require too much addition to your day. You just got to make sure that whatever you are doing, you're consistent to it. You're going to be waking up to trade at 7 a.m. Make sure you wake up at 7 a.m. every time. Not, one day you wake up at 7, the next day you wake up at like 8:30, because, if you keep doing that, you're just going to start messing yourself up. You're not going to be prepared. You're not going to know what you're doing. You're not going to be disciplined. And, in that repetitive cycle where you already know what to expect at this time of the day, and you already know how the market opens at this time, or, say you trade at 11, you already know what happens at 11 on average. 8 a.m. We already know there's a spike at 8 a.m. If you want to trade at 8 a.m. consistently every day, make sure you're there at 8 a.m. every day, or else you're going to lose it. You know what I'm saying? It's all about consistency and building that long-term, repetition. And it just makes you better. Journaling your trades. Like I was saying earlier, writing stuff down is your biggest friend. And I don't mean like typing stuff on your phone. I mean like grabbing a notebook and just writing stuff down, what you learn, what you see on TikTok, what happened in your trade that day. That's going to help you so much because that's what's going to create those neural pathways that are going to help you remember better. First of all, when you write something down, it scientifically, it helps your brain remember stuff more. That's one thing. Two, if you guys have ever heard of manifesting, writing stuff down is how you manifest. The more you write stuff down and the more you're able to visualize what you're writing and seeing stuff, the better you're going to do. The better it's going to help your life overall. This doesn't just account to trading. This could be for anything. It could even be for your love life if you've never had a girlfriend or something like that. And two, like I was talking in the last slide, routine and discipline. It's all it is. Having a routine, or for example, this is my routine, right? I'll wake up in the morning, I'll trade. I know that on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I trade with Lux in person. I know that Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I trade at home. So I already have my alarms set up at the same time every day. Usually, I can wake up at 7 a.m. and have 30 minutes to prepare for the morning meetings, online or in person. Boom, I trade. Once I'm done trading, what do? I write down what happened in my day, if I did good, if I did bad, or what I learned. And then I go to the gym, and then I take care of whatever I have to take care of. But I have to make sure I have that stable routine so I know what I'm doing. All right. Avoiding the noise. This is kind of a big one because this can really fuck with your mentality. If you constantly seeing these people online who are making a whole bunch of money and they're just putting it in your face and they're like, oh my goodness, and then you start feeling some sort of way about that because you see them doing it and you're not doing it, it's only gonna hinder you. The grass is never greener on the other side. What do you mean by that, Manny? Well, those people who are probably posting all that money and stuff, they're probably on a lucky streak. I'm not going to lie. When I'm doing really good, I feel like I'm on a lucky streak. It happens. You get on those streaks, and then you're going to have bad streaks. Even if you're a professional trader, you're never going to be the most perfect trader. People get on streaks, and they don't. It's like waves. Sometimes somebody will catch a wave. You just got to trust. Your wave is going to come for you, too. And when your wave does come for you, if you have that discipline and you have that drive and, you have that self-control, when the wave does get to you, you're going to be that person with that money and, feeling like you're the man and taking another person's girlfriend. That's going to be you. Everybody's journey is different. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to feel like just because somebody's doing something that you're not doing and that you could have been doing, that you're doing bad or that you suck. No. Don't feel like that because it's going to be your time eventually. It's just their time right now. They got to it first, but you're coming to it later. You know what I'm saying? And you might make it bigger than they did, even though they got to it first. Never compare yourself to another person. And, when you focus on yourself and you don't really care about how good other people are doing or, if somebody's more profitable than you, somebody has more money in their account than you, you start to build your own kind of world. And back to those neural pathways, back to that spiritual stuff. If you're locked in your own world and you got your own shit going and you start believing really hard in yourself and really trusting yourself and what you're doing, you're going to do better. You're going to do better. It's just what it is. You're going to be like, man, that sounds kind of dumb. That sounds kind of like a whole bunch of bullshit. Okay, then don't watch this video. But when you do that, I'm telling you, you're going to get better. Lock in, focus, repetition. You're going to do better. And then motivation for the long haul. I got this U-Haul truck right here because, usually if you got a U-Haul, you're going somewhere pretty far, I imagine. Unless, you're, a group of girls on a Florida trip for spring break and y'all can't afford a whip or something because they're not day trading. But that's another thing. So when you want to trade, you don't want to think of making a whole bunch of money in 1 week or in 1 day, maximizing your profit just because, oh shit, like the market is crashing. Trust me, I am a victim of this. I do this. But I'm saying, like, something that can help you the most is thinking long term. So for example, I'm recording this video in April 4th, I believe. Yeah. So what is my goal? I want to have at least, 30 to 50K in growth by, let's say, July. Is that reasonable? More than reasonable. And if you just started trading, I could promise you could do it too. And so this is just for my example, though. You want to project yourself. So if I were to tell myself, oh, man, I want to get a car by the end of the month. I need to get 20K right now. I'm going to make the biggest profit ever. I'm going to just make this work. You're going to, one, stress yourself out, over leverage, break your own rules, and you're going to lose your money. And then you're going to be in debt. And then you're going to be like, what the hell? Like, no, you fucked up because you put too much pressure on yourself. The less pressure you put on yourself, the longer term you start thinking, the slower you take it, the easier it is to build your account. For example, say I want to get those 50K by July. I can start today and I can make, let's say I make 100 today. I'm like, oh, all right, 100. That's almost nothing compared to 50K. Let's say 3 weeks from now, I've grown my account. So like it's easier to make 300 instead of 100 a day. So now I'm making 300 a day. Boom. So at this point, let's say, I'm going to lowball this. Let's say I'm at like 4K. Okay, man, you're at 4K. You're making 300 a day. Let's talk about May, right? Let's say May 25th, halfway through May, I'm already making a K a day because, compounding gets better, gets faster. So at that point in May, even though I have 4K, at the end of this month, in May, I probably have what? 10K because I'm making, a K a day. Let's count some losses in there. But I keep it short. I keep it consistent. I don't really like over leverage. I don't do too much. By July, I can easily be at like 80K if I really wanted to. But it's all about controlling it, how much you want, what I'm saying? Controlling that mindset of like, oh, I want this now, I want this quick, versus, I have a goal for the end of the year. I want an AMG 63 by the end of the year, so I'm going to take it slow, and I'm going to make sure I can build my account to get up to that. And you will do it because it's low stress. You're not really expecting too much from yourself. You're just taking it slow, and you're giving yourself time. Time is your most important asset when it comes to trading. Most important. And yeah, progress equals perfection. I mean, progress is better than perfection is what this is supposed to say. But I like to say progress is perfection because, what I'm saying? The more you do something, the better you get at it. And eventually you're going to get so good at something that it becomes easy. It becomes second nature. And if you do it slowly, you take it slowly, take your 3 months, 4 months to make a certain amount of money, it's going to be so easy and like so stress-free. You're going to feel like you didn't even have to learn how to trade to get there. You're going to feel like, wow, like this isn't even hard. Why am I even, watching videos and shit? Because you're giving yourself time. You're not stressing yourself out and you're making it super easy for yourself. And yeah, stay hungry, but stay patient. Just do your thing, give yourself time. And, what I'm saying? Eventually you're going to get to your goal. Final words. Like what I was saying in the previous slide, this is a marathon and it's not a sprint. What I'm saying? You want to think about how far you could go. That's why I say live to trade another day. It's not about a quick run up to get a whole bunch of cash. That's not going to work. It's about taking the time, taking the dedication to get to a certain point, slow and steady, with the least amount of stress possible. If you are working a 9 to 5 and you're trying to come to trading because you don't want to work a 9 to 5, but then when you're trading, you're making it hard on yourself because you're putting all the stress on yourself, you might as well go work a 9 to 5 because you're not going to make any more money than you will working a 9 to 5. You might as well lose money trading if you're going to do that. And like I was saying again, play the long game. You'll have a chance to win a lot more if you play the long game compared to running it up quick, running up an easy bag. Everybody knows this. Quick money does not last. You make quick money, it's not going to last you. That's what it is. And the mindset that you start with is going to shape how good you do. So if you're just starting and you're able to control this, you're able to be aware of this. You don't even have to do too much. You just have to be aware of it. Just know it in your head. Oh man, I am greedy. I do want to run it up quick, but I know it's going to take me time. Let's say you do run it up quick. You got super lucky. You're going to know. You're going to be like, okay, now that I did run it up quick, I'm going to just use this to my advantage and continue building slow. You know what I'm saying? And boom, you just used, a bad habit and turned it into something good, positive for, your trading career. But that's about it, guys. That's the video. I hope you guys take notes. I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the video. I always suggest you guys take notes, just like I suggest you guys take notes after every trade. Taking notes is the most important thing. It's going to help you learn the most. It's going to help you remember the most and grow the most. But with that being said, I hope everybody who watches this video has a great rest of the day. And don't forget to like this video. If you're just watching this off of YouTube, randomly, subscribe to us if you want to learn more. If not, it's cool. But yeah, see you guys later.